Hi everyone! Today we're going to talk about memory and children's eyewitness testimony. Okay, so every once in a while, for some kind of a court case, children are sometimes called in to give an eyewitness testimony. So sometimes these are cases of child abuse, or sometimes these are cases of other crimes that are done that the lawyers and judge believe that it's important to have a child as the eyewitness. So the problem with this is that the reliability of children's eyewitness testimony can be complicated. So in order to really understand the reliability, you need to have an understanding of child development, and more specifically, the understanding of memory. So we talked a little bit about the memory system in class already. So we talked about encoding, storage, and retrieval. So that's kind of that cognitive structure that makes up the memory system. But there's a little bit more to it than that. So remember, there are all those environmental influences as well. So we know that preschool children are able to provide a reliable testimony if there's no interviewer bias. So interviewer bias is when you're asking sort of leading questions. So maybe you might say something like, oh, well, you saw this man steal the money from the cash register, didn't you? Didn't you? And so you're kind of leading them to say, yes, I did see that. I did. Instead of using neutral questioning. And so one other consideration with young children is that young children are very, very suggestible. So being suggestible just means that remembering or recalling events can really be influenced during memory storage. So remember the three parts of the memory system. There's encoding, storage, and retrieval. So during memory storage, all of a sudden when you're trying to pull that stuff out of storage, experiences that you have in the world can affect that. And those experiences might be leading questions or interviewer bias or something that the person who's asking you the questions is kind of corrupting the memory in some way. So for that reason, it's very important to use neutral questioning when you're asking a child to recall an event. We don't want to disrupt their memories. So that's a big consideration in children's eyewitness testimony. So there is a very important video that I've attached, or I've included in the Canvas Module 8 that's related precisely to memory and children's eyewitness testimony. And the video features a prominent researcher named Stephen Ceci, who does his research at Cornell University in New York. And he is the expert, the nationwide expert on children's eyewitness testimony. So he's been called into a lot of court cases to act as an expert witness. And so the video that's included in the Canvas Module 8, Week 8 module, is a video of Stephen Ceci that illustrates these ideas. So what I would like you to do is watch the video and then answer the following question. So the following question is worth extra points if you're interested. It's worth 5 extra points. So here's the question. I want you to imagine that you are a jury member in a case with a child eyewitness. So would you put more credence in the eyewitness testimony of a child who had a lot of prior knowledge about the person in question, the person who was accused of the crime, or a child who had never met the person? And why? It's important to include why. So you're going to get this information from the Ceci video that that's posted in the Module 8, Week 8. And so to get the extra credit, what you'll need to do is write a thoughtful, meaning you've put a lot of thought into it, a 1-page response, and the 1-page response should be double-spaced, 12-point font with 1-inch margin, so just kind of the standard Microsoft Word sort of thing. And make sure it's based on what you learned in the video. And so it's not going to be based on just your opinion. You're going to have to sort of show and demonstrate that you've watched the video and that you understand the content from the video. So to do that, you want to cite specific things from the video to get credit. You don't need to use APA formatting or anything, but you could say, hey, part of the video, Stephen Ceci's assistant did an experiment with children that did blah, 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 blah. And so just something that sort of highlights what you learned in the video. And then there's going to be a space in Canvas for you to upload this as a Word doc. You'll check and you'll see that. Okay, so the video is in the Canvas module, as I mentioned a couple of times, and it's about 30 minutes long. So I encourage you to watch the entire video. If for some reason you feel like you don't have time or you want to kind of skip through to the good parts, I'll give you some hints on the good parts. So the parts that are very important for you to watch for this assignment, if you don't have time to watch the whole 30 minutes, are 6 minutes and 30 seconds through 8 minutes and 30 seconds. You could scroll ahead to 6 minutes and 30 seconds and watch till 8 minutes and 30 seconds. And 18 minutes and 20 seconds to 21:38, and 23:18 to 31 minutes. So either you watch the whole entire video or you watch all 3 of these segments. Not just one of these segments, because you're not going to get the information you need. You're going to need all 3 of these segments at the least. All 3, not just one. Or just watch the whole thing, because it's great. I think once you watch a couple minutes of it, you're going to want to watch the whole thing. It's going to kind of suck you in because it's really cool. All right, so good luck and have fun. It's a fun video.